All right, we are live. Awesome. Let me get this tweeted out here. All right, got that tweeted. Man, I hope everybody had a good trading day today. It was another one for where the Bears won, right? And the shorts, it was good to short. So just a quick look at the SPX here, the S&P Cash Index. So we have just kind of a quick review. 2017, huge bull run up until we got into January of 2018. Down, nice corrective move, back up, right? Double top, October, boom, right? Wave one down, ABC2. Wave 3, and then what do we got going on here? We don't know yet, but we thought there would be a wave 4 here, thought there'd be a wave 4 here, thought there'd be a wave 4 here, right? Thought there'd be 61.8% retracement. Maybe this is a wave 2. Or maybe this is an 8 wave, right? So, and then we have, of course, 78.6. So if this is the end of this, massive bull run that we had since Christmas, maybe this was a wave 2, right? So maybe this of 3, right? So maybe this actually was a subwave, 1, 2, and then boom, 3, and so we shall see, right? Or this could have been, just like this could be an A, right? This could be an A wave, B, C, and then that could be 2. And, maybe we just have, sort of the count wrong here. But still looks pretty interesting. And whether that matters or not at this point really is kind of a moot point, right? Unless you're swinging. And we'll take a look at that more in the future. But right now what we did do is this large pitchfork, right, that went all the way through 2018 from the beginning of that January level of 2018 to the low here in April, all the way to the September high. That's what formed our pitchfork right here, and it also made sense, right, because it served as a decent essentially trend line, right, medium support, medium resistance, and then here, boom, right, nice pivot here, back up, pivot here, back up, pivot here, sort of back up, broke through all the way to the downside, and then it pivoted right at the lower end of the pitchfork, right? I would have liked it to have gotten a little bit closer, but it doesn't have to be perfect, right? So it had a pivot there. Then it was at which point, we just kept going and going and going, right? And then here we are at the top of the pitchfork, and a nice little kind of double top right here with a pivot, right? So what this implies to me is furthermore, further downside. Now, this could be like a wave 1. It might come back up here, retest again, back down, right? But in general, this is looking, pretty bearish, and it's doing it in the right spot. Also, this level right here, this red line, which represents the top of these 3 pivots here, right, is pretty well defended, right? So this is there's a lot of bears here, bears in them woods, right? And so that's pretty well defended. Obviously, every time touch here, push it back, touch here, push it way back, right? So I mean, does it test again, right, or we just head back down? So right now, futures are kind of flat, pointing down a little bit. So we'll see if we get any follow through tomorrow. Just keep in mind tomorrow is Friday. So when you're trading options, consider trading next week's options, right? So you don't get caught, possibly with a in the money call and get assigned or something like that, right? That's never fun. Okay, cool. So that's the S&P. So today, basically, for the technical topic of today, wanted to finish up this. I've just been kind of going through these John Carter studies. I'm just really impressed. I am totally buying this guy's book. It is expensive, but it is it's well worth it, right? So it's the TTM. So backwards. So TTM is Master the Trade, right? And so that's his book, Master the Trade. So this is just sort of, Master the Trade backwards, right? So so what I'm going to do is here I'm going to remove the studies because last time we talked about the Ttm linear regression channel, and that's really pretty awesome. We've talked about scalper alert, so I'm going to remove the trend and the wave that I have on here right now, and then we'll just kind of build this from scratch. So let me just kind of show you where we left off yesterday, and then just kind of continue from there as soon as, I got to take that off. That's so cool. Hold on. Studies, edit studies, remove that. Okay, cool. All right, good. All right, good. All right, so let me zoom in here. All right, so this is where we left off yesterday, right? And so we have, we've gone over scalper alert, which is, pretty cool. And we went over the linear regression channel, right? The LRC. So that's this guy right here. So, just kind of, yesterday, right, we were kind of like, this is the 5-minute time frame, and I'm actually starting to kind of enjoy this when I'm trading the SPX. And so had a nice cloud here, broke to the downside, right, gave you a TTM scalper alert up here, which it does after the fact, but it's still nice for looking at pivots, right? And I kind of suggested before that these are good places to find like maybe wave counts too if you're doing Elliott wave, because you definitely have a pivot here, and a pivot here, right? So that could be wave 1, A, B, C, wave 2, right? So 3. So you could actually use that to help you with your Elliott wave analysis. So it's definitely a possibility because it does point out the pivots pretty well. They're definitely defined pivots. Of course, you could use your artistic judgment too to change those around as well. Right, and then we talked about the LRC, so the linear regression channel. Now this one I like so much because it's dynamic, and I used it today, but I kind of broke my rules, right? Because the general rules of it is I got a little bit greedy because here's today's range, right? And so I kind of came in here. But at the time, the linear regression channel was it was basically at the one standard deviation or close to the median. And I was like, we should get a move, and we did, right? But then I was just kind of holding, and just got real choppy and all that stuff, and then this got nasty here, and then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get out, because we're going into cloud resistance, and then boom, it like pushed up right there. That would have been the perfect trade, right? And so I got out there, and then but honestly, I shouldn't have really. I mean, yeah, it was a good trade, right? But it's just tough with options because they don't squeeze as much as you want to sometimes, and they chop, and then you lose your premium. And so, so what I really should have done is waited until maybe a better signal, right? And so here was great, right? Because you could have done that. That was at the cloud top. But what did it do? It went down to the cloud bottom, and it was an okay move, right? So 2760 all the way down to 2753. So a 7-point move is never horrible, right? But then it came back up, right? And then that's annoying, right? So what could have helped us to say like, okay, this is maybe the turning point? And so this is what I'm going to show you today. So the TTM, and I'm going to probably add these to my studies too, because we get caught up a lot in the red and the green, and it's important to know the red and the green of these bars, because it shows who's in charge, right? So, but what I really like with what John Carter did here is he took the average of these, right, and took the high and low, and if it was like below, if the average was below 50%, I believe that's how it works, like below 50% of the average. This is for the Ttm trend. So so what it does, right? You take the it no longer shows the red and the green. I mean, you can make it whatever you want to. You can make it red and green if you want to, but it makes it basically red and blue. And then, so what it is it gives you the bearish signal, which is going to be red. If the average price closed in the lower 50% range of the input defined by the number of previous bars, and the default is 6. Okay, and then if it's over, right? So if the average price is over 50% of the range, then it's bullish. Okay, so so I'm going to pull that study up right now. So I'm going to go Ttm Trend. Just Ttm. It pulls up all the TTMs, and there's only 2 left, and we're going to cover those today. So this is a Ttm Trend. So I'm going to hit Apply. And there we go. All right. So what it did, right, is it took all the bearish signals. Now some of these were green, right, and all that stuff, but it took the average of those, each, on each bar, to the average of the last 6, and as long as you're below 50% of that range, right, it kept it red. So that shows you basically in a downtrend, right? And then here you had the scalper alert. Here it gave you an alert to the upside. Okay, but you're still red here, right? So it did go up, but you were still red. So it's like, I don't really want to take that, right? Then you had this here, right? So you had the down arrow, right? And you were blue. So this is maybe a signal to go short, but you're kind of over here and you saw a hammer bar, right? So kind of rough to go there. And then eventually these things kind of formed and then maybe disappeared. So this is basically where I went long today, but maybe looking at this, that wasn't such a good idea, right? Even though I had the up bar, it was still blue, right? So I'm sorry, actually blue was uptrend. So this did give you a signal to go up, and it was okay. It just didn't give me the greatest move that I wanted because of the chop here. And I probably had some bad pricing and should have got here, et cetera, et cetera. So what I wanted to show you here is this turnaround, right? And the other part that I wanted to show you, and I can't really go back and show you right now because on demand doesn't go back that far, but the linear regression at the time we was in the middle area, and that was a bad impatient area to do it, right? Because it could have just kept on chopping here and gone down or whatever the case was, right? So but here this 2760 was actually the top of the linear regression channel, right? And so that's the best place to short, right? Or a really good place. The only thing that would have made it difficult to short here is that everything was still blue, right? So it was still in the uptrend, right? And then here it said long right at the bottom, but you're in the red trend, right? Now here, this was the magic spot, right? So you're down, you're in the cloud, and if you actually did that trade, this is the best trade of the day off the SPX, 2757. all the way down to 27.30, almost a 20-point move off of that in a short amount of time. The options exploded at this point here, and I missed a huge move on that by just, kind of taking a little loss right here, not really maximizing my trade and missing this big move. And I think this setup would be really helpful for that. So that's that. So I'm going to pay more attention to that tomorrow, just to see how it works live. And then what I also want to show you too is the Ttm Wave. Okay, looks more complicated than it actually is, and I'm just going to simplify it really quick. Okay, so it's one of the cooler oscillators I think that's out there. But what it does is use two different sets of waves, okay? And I'll explain it real quick. The red and yellow, okay? This is your short-term wave count, okay? Or not your short-term wave style, okay? Wave trend, short-term, okay? The blues is your long-term, okay? So, and this is your zero line, okay? So if it's below the zero line, right, negative trend. If it's above it, positive trend, right? So the ideal place to do it, right, the ideal place to trade is when both your blue and your red are going in the are above or below the, especially the majority of it on the blue, are above and below, because this kind of shifts a little bit differently, right? So, but when the majority of it is above or below the zero line, so both below, good to short, right? So here, both were below, right? Obviously, good to short, okay? Here, the short-term trend kind of went up, and this is kind of where I went long, but look at this, long-term trend down. Why am I trying to go long here, right? So, bad spot to try to do it, right? But where was the best place to do it? Okay, so here it was pretty good, right? Except it chopped you up a little bit, gave you a quick move, bounce off the bottom of the cloud, and then back up. Now, look what happened. They both went underneath, and this ended up being the best trade right here of the day for 20 points to the downside. So, you can see that combining all these is actually really powerful, and you use your levels and your cloud, and then combine it with your linear regression channels. This is actually very, very powerful indicators to help your trading. And then you can zoom in and kind of look at your candlesticks to see what makes sense, right? So here we had a 1, 2, 3, right? What is that? You guys have to remind me of the name of this one, but it's like a 1, 2, 3 two crows or something like that. So two towers, 1, 2, 3. So you had the 1, 2, 3 here, and then that push down. So there's your nice bar to be like, okay, this is done, right? And then that's, you don't have to necessarily grab the top right there, but even if you got right here, 27.55 all the way down, just say 27.40, so a nice 15-point move or whatever the case is. So, pretty solid move right there. So, and then of course it broke through the cloud, right? So you have a big bar push here, then you had your 1, 2, 3, and then push back down, and then down again. So, definitely going to start incorporating these into my day trading. Just for trying to get this SPX kind of under control before maybe we do like another $50,000 challenge or something like that. So I'm trying to get all these tools kind of mastered, so I could take all the common sense stuff that I used to do trading using basic technicals like bull flags, bear flags, Elliott waves, stuff like that, and then combine it with some more powerful indicators just to help solidify some of those ideas. So anyway, I hope that's really helpful, guys. I'm actually starting to really kind of like this, like the blue and the red. Maybe I could make it green too, but it just kind of looks a little funky because it like kind of a fun new flavor for trading. So hope this guys helps you. And again, if anybody has any questions at this point or chart requests, please put them in the chat window, and we'll get to those. And tomorrow, everybody, is Friday, so I hope everybody has a good trading day tomorrow. Okay, cool. Andrew, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Harvey, how are you? Always a pleasure. Mohammed, my friend, how are you? Good to see you. Nikolai, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while, man. And NetFry, what's going on? W Day. Let's take a look at W Day. So let's just see what it did today. Tomorrow it's tomorrow's earnings, right? Or is that the other day? Kind of. So yeah, big push to the downside, right? Follow through. Inside day, failed to break to the upside. Key reversal bar here. So lower BB pointing down. So you have your favorite 50 MA right here as a potential target, 176, and then if it breaks through there, we have our pitchfork, right? Pitchfork level here, which corresponds right with the cloud. So amazing, right? Hit 200 to the tick, right? Nice whole number top, and then back down. So very interesting stuff. And obviously a break here is about the 50 days. So your low there of that second day down was 175. So that 175 break, could get you down to like 170. So it looks pretty interesting. But if it consolidates right here, it might bounce, and then retest the top of the pitchfork. So definite possibilities. Shirley, what's going on? You got tons of credit today on Twitter. Everybody was impressed with your call on what was the BPTH or BP T8? It was BPTH. What was it? Let me take a look. I only saw it through like a Twitter feed or I think it through NetFry's tweet. Let me see. Yeah, incredible, Shirley. Look at that. Unbelievable move right there. Where were we at yesterday? I think $9 and up to 73 today. Just incredible. So I think you got maybe some hedge fund managers watching your levels. So good stuff there. Mohammed, so officially we entering into a bear market? I mean, why not? So bear market, let's see. It depends, honestly, Mohammed, like how, I would define a bear market as at least having one full 5-wave down, right, from here. So we haven't really done that, right? So it's so I think at best this is a wave 3. This could have been like a wave 1, right? And let me relabel this here. So one possible interpretation is A, B, right? And maybe this was C. Okay. And if that's the case, that's your wave 2 edit. So C2. And then here, we might be working on wave 3 down. Now, wave 3 down is usually the most powerful wave, right? So at that point, right, that will definitely be, a wave 3 down is usually the biggest wave, right? That could get us back down below 2,000, right? Then you'd see like a wave 4 back up, and then a wave 5 down. So that would be huge, right? If it got back down to 1,800. And then you'd have to see what the corrective phase is after that. So you could get like an ABC or something like that, kind of gets you back over 2,000. Everybody's happy. But then if it starts pushing again to the downside, I think, there you could say, we're officially in a bear market, right? So, but right now it's hard to tell, right? Because we don't know, because all this huge, if I go to the weekly, that's 5-minute chart. If I go weekly, I think I've got weekly. I don't know how far back it goes. Obviously, right, I know it's really hard to see because I got tons of indicators on here, right? But everything's still over the weekly 200-day. It tagged it right when it came back up. Just so in general, everything's still in an uptrend, right? So, but yeah, we've had last couple of days have been, pretty nasty, but nothing huge, right? We haven't had a huge move yet, just a little pivot at the top here. So, but if this is indeed wave 2, then we see a wave 3 down, get through the 200-day moving average, right? It's got to test some more levels and all that stuff to be officially bear market, because right now it's, if anything, that was just a minor correction and then heading back up. Just look at how that weekly 200 is held the entire time, right? So, so basically, if anything, it's just sort of a blip on the radar. But it was such a quick move up that it, is a little bit suspicious, right? So that's the only thing. And kind of interesting here too, if you go to the SPX and kind of look at the weekly, look what we did, right? We broke through the cloud, jammed into that resistance right there, and now we're back in the cloud. Okay, so this is really helpful to see, especially that cloud break right there, right? If we caught 27.88 this week, that would have taken you all the way down to 27.44, so a nice 40-point move right there off of that. So yeah, not quite official yet, but we could be entering. If you said we are entering, it is possible. So take 2, let's see, take 2. Yeah, that was on the radar the day. I think they had some earnings, right, or something. No, that was a while ago. They had some news. I can't remember what it was, but they must have, or it came up on my scanner. But yeah. So it was Inside Day. Hammer bar. Here's an Inside Day right here. Yeah, it is looking bullish. It's got a nice candle for today. Really low volume, so it's kind of like, you never know. It could be like just kind of give you one of these bars like this, and then kind of push up, kind of come around, come back down. So not super duper impressive, but it did do a double inside day here, and I like those. So a break there of 94.36 was good all the way down to 87. So that was pretty solid right there. So just look for those setups. Hammers are okay to trade, but a lot of times they just give a little bit of follow through, so you have to be kind of a ninja scalper with those. So hopefully that's helpful. Let's see what else we got going on up in here. Oh, and then any idea on Tesla on Friday? Yeah, so Tesla, you guys know, we'll just cover real quick the 60 anchor, right? So you guys know I talk about that a lot, and so it's a great way to trade the open. Right, so if you go to the 60 anchor, you do the aggregation from the 9:30 open right here. So it gives you 7 bars throughout the day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, that last bar went inside. Okay, so what that means is, so look here, when this went inside right here, it broke that to the downside. Boom, gave you a huge move to the downside. So right here, and what that means is indecision in price. Right, so price likes to break out over its previous levels. So here. When it goes inside, it's undecided, right? So it went up here, kind of slowed down here, spinning top, then it went inside, and then it went down. But if it broke to the upside, it could have given you more upside movement, right? So here it's like, oh, I don't know which way I want to go. Okay, I'll go down, right? And then so here it did the same thing, right? Inside bar. But the beauty of this is that it's at the close, and so at the open, right, you get more volume, momentum going into that. So what we'll do is we'll watch the break here of that 276 or a break here of 274 if we open in the middle of the range, right? If we gap down, then at that point it might be worth to look at reclaiming it, but you want to see how it does. If you go back to Google today, and that was sort of the example I posted on Twitter earlier, on Google you had the inside 60 anchor yesterday right here, right? We opened down, we got down, right, and it came back up, but didn't want to reclaim that range, right? It got really weak. So as soon as it shot back below it, right, that's where you want to jump in your puts, and then boom, it goes right to the downside there. So all it did is test that level, right, price discovery, test that level, and then shoot down, right? So that was good from like anywhere from like $3 or $4 to $6 to $8, right, on options. So, so pretty good. So almost a double, possibly triple depending on how you played it. Okay, so hopefully that helps. So that's how I'm going to trade Tesla tomorrow, is with that anchor. Andrew, let's take a look at Overstock. It was TK. You got, what is it, Jack Dorsey, Twitter guy. Did that give you an inside anchor? Yeah, not quite. It kind of broke to the upside by a penny. But, definitely interesting to watch. Nice move down, kind of consolidation. Could be a potential measured move to the downside. So that's definitely something to look at. But, yeah, Jack Dorsey was like buying Bitcoin so he could, juice up his square, whatever the case is. But yeah, Overstock, kind of like a Bitcoin train type thing. This is also kind of on my do not trade list. It's just really tough to trade just because of the spreads and stuff like that, and it gets a little wicky and a little bit difficult to move. But yeah, so you had a kind of a reversal spinning top right there, but then it kind of reversed right back. So it's just kind of in this like weird kind of choppy area. So a little bit difficult to trade. Let's take a real quick look here on the daily here. So that gave you this crazy Bitcoin move from here to here. Okay, we can see you have a Fibonacci level, right? Corresponding first fib at 29.5, just say. So pretty close to there. If not, it might just kind of ram into here and kind of come back down. So kind of overstock right there. Shirley, I know. It was great stuff. So anybody, obviously screenshot Shirley's stuff. So let's take a look at plug. Incredible. I think NetFry was said Shirley is a millionaire today. That was great. So Plug's doing pretty good. I mean, it had a nice move today after a big move down. Right, got back above that volumetric level, but it kind of jammed right into this Fibonacci level, Fibonacci fan level. So just see if it consolidates a little bit, holds this $1.93 level, and if it can hold that, then yeah, I think you might see up. So I think your level is good there. Oh, Keychain, he snuck in there. Let's look at now. Sure, my pleasure. Wow, super strong. So we've done this one before. Had this huge gap up, hung out around this pitchfork top, kind of pushed to the upside. Now it's kind of hanging out over here. Looks like it might have put in an inside day for you. So that's worth looking at. Oh, it always does that. There we go. Didn't quite put an inside day. Had an inside day here. Kind of broke a little bit to the downside, a little bit to the downside. It's at the mid-Celt level. Looks a little bit choppy right here, so I'd wait to get a little more actionable, but it could be a 1, 2, 3 maybe push or 1, 2, 3 pullback and then to the upside. So just watch the price action on this one. But it does have this, I think, this level to test. I think it wants to test 229. And then if it breaks down into it, right, then you're in that pitchfork range and you could possibly hit 203. If not, just see if it consolidates and then look back to the upside on that one. So Shirley, ESRT. Empire State Realty Trust, Inc., Class A. Let's take a look here. Sorry guys, a little bit sleepy. busy when all I do is have fun trading, right? No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so here we go. So look at that consolidator right there, volumetric level, right? Broke through this air pocket, boom to the downside, held this volumetric level, down this volumetric level, back up to the fib fan line. And so, yeah, it needs to break out. I just watched that 1715 level right there. So it's got to break through there. D, Dominion. Yeah, this came up on our bullish radar recently. Definitely pretty awesome here, right? Tagged that volumetric. Definitely working to that 777, right? 77.71. If we can get through there, I think you definitely see some more upside. I do want to look at the candlestick here on the daily. Yeah, a little bit of a doji, spinning top right here at the upper Bollinger Band. So just be careful there. And your RSI is overbought, right? So that's usually a good reversal indication. So it might come back. It might only just test like this 5MA around 75.49, but if it wants to, it could get to the mid Bollinger Band, right, the 74. So just be careful here. But definitely has had some good setup. So it just looks a little toppy right here with the RSI overbought and the doji top. XEL. Very nice. Let's see here. Let's pretend here to that old pivot there. Okay, held Fibonacci, broke to the upside. Obviously broke through its volumetric levels. I mean, right now it's I think looking very strong. Just looks like it wants a little bit of consolidation. Yeah. So let's see here. Right, so just be careful if it hits up this level here. It's kind of 56. You might still want to retest some of the lower ends of this. Just watch for a pivot there. That's all. NG. Here. 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 So yeah, kind of interesting. It's got if it gets over 407, right? I think you could see some movement. So yeah, I think your levels are good there. Netfry, what's going on, my friend? Tesla may be bullish tomorrow, holding very well today. Yeah, the only thing I had on that is just the analysis on the Elliott Wave idea. Right, so triangles form in wave B or wave 4, right? And then an overshoot of the triangle is actually really bearish, right? So that was the one thing I meant to mention the other day in my tweet. But here, from this up move, right? This looks like a 1 ABC 2 wave 3, right? And then 1 2 3 4 5, right? So this gave your triangle, which I think is wave 4 if this count is correct, right? Then it overshoots it here, and I know it had this nice pull up right there, and it did have a huge buy like right at the end. So yeah, so it might get that follow through to the upside, and I hope it does if you're long. But if you're not, right, just keep an eye that this might really give that move, that push to the downside, which is usually the range of that open part of the triangle. So it could hit not only here, but it could get down to like 260. So keep an eye on that. Mohammed, yeah, my pleasure, man. Yeah, Shirley's awesome. And let's see, Andrew, it also has inverse head and shoulder. Oh, cool. Yeah, good catch, man. Didn't even see that. Shirley. Alerting system. Prayer Kid, what's going on, man? Great stuff today. Appreciate always your sharing your stuff on Twitter. And yeah, good. So AKMBGD, good. All right, guys. Well, hopefully that was helpful. A nice little boring Thursday night, but that's good. I think we'll have an exciting day tomorrow, and I just hope everybody gets a good night rest and has a great trading day tomorrow. So I'll try to tweet out ideas. There's a chance I might go live, for the open if I don't feel like trading an anchor or something like that, so I can share. But if not, I'll post it. Just kind of show you my ideas. And yeah, I hope everybody does great and is extremely successful and has a good night. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow.